Hi, friend. I just wanted to take a minute to invite you to our Lash Biz Babes Experience 2026. This is a one-day all-online event happening on May 2nd, and our theme for the year is going all in. We are shaking things up and doing it differently than anyone ever has before. This is going to be an all-online event, as usual, but it's going to be 100% a curated journey throughout your day as we guide you through the mindset, strategy, and passion needed to go all in on your business to make it your best year in business yet. All lash artists, estheticians, and beauty professionals are invited to join us. There will be guided sessions, interactive workshops, a panel discussion, and big giveaways happening throughout that whole day. And tickets are on sale now for only $199. Payment plans are available. Let's go all in on our businesses for 2026 together. All the details and the link for tickets are down in the show notes below. I would love to have you join us online in May. Welcome to Lash Biz Babes, the podcast for solo beauty business owners who want to build a full clientele and create a business and life that they truly love. My name is Erica. I'm your host. I'm a lash artist turned beauty business coach, lash educator, and social media manager for salons and beauty businesses. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Welcome to this week's episode of Lash Biz Babes. My name is Erica. I'm your host, and this week we are going to be talking all about content that is working on social media right now. I want to do an episode like this every few months or so to just give you an update on what I feel like as a social media manager for salons and beauty businesses is working the best content-wise, give you some different content ideas, and just kind of share behind the scenes like some of the data and the metrics that we're seeing and the types of posts that are working best, not just for getting views and likes and engagement, but for actually converting into website clicks and calls and messages to book with you. So those conversions are what we're really looking at as social media manager, because like the views and the likes and the engagement, we love all of those things, but that doesn't always translate into bookings. And that's where I think a lot of lash artists and estheticians and beauty businesses and just people in general, businesses online in general, get frustrated because they're like, well, I get all these views and then I don't get any bookings, right? It's not actually moving the needle for your business and you're not actually making money from the views. Now, if you were like an influencer or you were selling products, yeah, going viral might help you earn money by views or more sales, things like that. But for you as a locally based service provider, going viral might not be the key to growing your clientele that you think it is. I'm not saying you can't get bookings from going viral. I'm sure that has happened to people before, but that's not going to be like a consistent strategy or something that you should be striving for to grow your service-based business with clients in your area. You're not trying to go viral because those people can't book with you. They don't live close to you. You want to be able to establish a really strong local presence in your area, and that is what will help you grow your service-based business with clientele. So I just wanted to start with that because I think sometimes we get too in our heads about these vanity metrics on how many views we're getting or how many likes we're getting or comments. And at the end of the day, while those things, honestly, it can be kind of fun watching the views on your videos go crazy, and like it's kind of fun sometimes, I'm not going to lie. However, the audience is not the audience that you need, and it doesn't necessarily grow your business as a service-based business with local clients, right? So, we don't want to focus on going viral. So with our social media clients, we're that's not really a focus of ours, and we have a couple product lines that when we're doing stuff with their products, we might be going for more visibility with more quote unquote viral reels or TikToks to get the visibility of their products out there. But that's a different business type. So for you, for service based businesses, what our focus is, we're looking more at the metrics and the insights of like, first off, how many local followers do you have? Because you can see that in your metrics on the back end if you have a professional profile on Instagram and Facebook Facebook, you can see the percentage of your followers that are local to you. And that's a percentage and like a metric that we're looking at as a social media management company because for service-based businesses, we need that audience. That's our target audience is local people, right? So that's something you do want to look at and see, okay, what percentage of my following is local? Because that might be an issue for you. If you are posting consistently, if you feel like you're posting out good content, if you're showing up online and you've got everything really well set up, you've got your booking site set up, but it's not quite hitting like you're wanting it to, the issue might be you don't have the right audience. So you might want to look at what percentage of local followers do I have and how can I increase that? So that is something I am going to be teaching about at Nails and Lash Expo coming up in just a few weeks in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, April 6th and 7th. I'm going to be teaching. They just released the schedule this past weekend as of the time I'm recording this. And I am going to be speaking on Sunday, April 6th, 1 p.m. in I think it's room 301B. Don't quote me on that. I'm just going off of memory on that. So hopefully that's the correct room number. But I'm going to be teaching a class all about growing your local following and different strategies that actually really work and take 30 minutes or less a day. And honestly, the strategies that I implement these days are more like 10 to 15 minutes a day or so. And that's really not a long time. Like you can take 10 minutes a day to help yourself grow online by growing your audience with the correct people that you need in it, right? So I'm going to be teaching strategies for this with Facebook and Instagram. I'll probably even maybe touch on some TikTok things too, since we've done a bit of that for our clients and just share like what's working the best and what actually works for local audience growth. So come take my class at Nails and Lash Expo. The tickets are on sale, and I will have a link for the tickets in the show notes this week so that you can go grab your ticket. Fort Lauderdale. I'm so excited. I'm bringing my family. It's going to be so much fun. But that was just kind of like a side note on this thing since we were talking about your local following. So that's a metric that we're looking at. Other metrics that we're looking at as a social media management company, other metrics that you should be looking at as a lash artist, hairstylist, esthetician, whatever beauty services it is that you offer, you should be looking more so at like how many people are clicking through to your website. So one thing that I like to do for our social media clients is look at, okay, I will look at the insights for like an individual post and see how many people clicked through from that post to their profile because that tells me, okay, they were interested in the post enough to stop scrolling, to read the post, and then click through to their profile. So that's a conversion metric that I like to see because that tells me what content is doing well in terms of conversions, in terms of taking that next step towards getting to know them better, actually booking or clicking through to their website or messaging them or calling them, whatever that next step is. This is something that you should be looking at because that tells you what your conversion content is. So there's a difference between visibility content, engagement content, and conversion content. We're going to get into that here in a minute. But that tells you that that's a metric you want to be looking at is how many people are clicking through to your profile. And then you also want to be looking at, okay, in the back end in your metrics, you can look at how many people clicked through to your website or whatever link you have on your Instagram page. So this one is specific to Instagram. Facebook is a little bit different because you can put links in individual posts. So Facebook metrics might not have this specific one, but on Instagram specifically, they do where that you can see how many people clicked through to your website link. Now, this is a very important metric because this really tells you how many people are actually converting from being a follower of yours or being a page viewer of yours, looking at your page, visiting your profile, to actually clicking through to taking that next step to booking with you. And the reason why we're talking about this is because you can actually take these metrics and say, okay, this is what's working well, this isn't what's working well, and it informs your strategy and it tells you what adjustments you need to make. Because it's really normal to have your metrics go up and down, like your percentages of like, okay, how many views you got that went up this month or went down this month. But those types of metrics, those ups and those downs and percentages can inform your strategy and where you need to make adjustments. So if you're noticing, okay, I'm getting getting a lot of page views, but I'm not getting a lot of people clicking through to my website, then there might be a disconnect with your content somewhere and you can make some adjustments to try and see how can I up these conversions. So then you can actually go look at, okay, which content pieces are actually getting the most people to click through to my profile, click through to my website, and then that tells you, okay, maybe we need to mix some more of those content types in or repurpose some of these posts, share these posts to stories, things like that. Like there's things that you can do to up that conversion rate. As a social media manager, I'm looking at how many people are clicking through to their profile to visit the profile. I'm looking at how many people are clicking through to the website. And then you can actually take those numbers and do the math to figure out what your conversion percentage is. So if you have, let's just do like some easy math here. If you have 100 people who visited your profile in the last 30 days and 10 of them clicked through to your website, that tells you that you have a 10% conversion rate. So, how you do that math is you take your profile visits and divide that by the number of times that your website was clicked on, and that gives you the percentage of conversions. Now, if that's a lower percentage, that's definitely something that you want to up if you want to build your clientele off of social media. So, all right, let's talk about the actual content that's going to help you be able to do that. So that's what your goal is to up that conversion rate of people clicking through to your website, people calling you. You can also do this like with Google Business. They give you a lot of insights and you can do this same type of math on there. So we actually also use Metricool, Metricool, Metricool for our clients for their social media management, scheduling out posts and such, and they actually give you really detailed reports, like more detailed reports on conversion metrics and like your actual insights that are more in depth than what like Meta and Instagram give you. So that's something that we go off of for our social media clients. And so if you get a free account on Metricool, you can not only schedule your posts out for the month, but you can also see these really detailed reports. And a lot of the times it'll actually like pull it for you and you can like just have it all there and you don't have to do a ton of math. So that's an easy way to really get these metrics and decide, okay, what's working well, what's not working well. Now, that doesn't give you like individual post insights. So that might be something you go look at on the individual posts so that you can see which content types are working the best for you specifically. But that being said, let's talk about different content types and what I feel like is working the best right now and help you figure out some ways that you can up your conversion percentage because that's what I want for you this year so you can build your clientele from social media. Now, let's start with talking about how, and I think maybe we just touched on this a little bit ago, but how, people say, oh, I had a viral reel, or oh, I got all these views on this reel and I didn't get any bookings from it. I didn't make any sales from it. I didn't make any money off of it. And so it's like, but then they're like, but my service post that was like showcasing my services didn't get nearly as many views, didn't get nearly as much engagement, didn't get nearly as much likes, like it didn't do as well. And they get frustrated that these like entertaining, funny reels, dancing reels, whatever they're doing, reels or TikTok wise, like do really well, but their service posts don't do as well. And that's what they want people seeing, right? But I think what they're not realizing is that these two content types have different goals and they have different purposes. So the reels that are like the entertaining, the behind the scenes, the like if you do dancing reels or like the funny things, like the memes, whatever it is, reels are meant for visibility and audience growth. That's like their main purpose in my mind is we're getting you visible, we're getting you seen, and we are building your audience. We're trying to reach your local area or whoever your target audience is, right? So reels are really great for visibility and audience growth. They're not necessarily the best for actual conversions. Now, that's not to say that you can't get like profile visits or website clicks or calls or messages or even sales if you're like selling ebooks or something off of a reel. I'm not saying you can't make conversions off of reels. But what I am saying is that for service-based businesses, the purpose of reels is mainly to get you seen, get you visible, get people interested in your account, getting to know you, getting to like you, getting to trust you, and then you mix in that service content as well, and that's where more conversions happen. So what we noticed with our clients, with our social media clients, when I was looking at data and looking at metrics, looking at insights from the last few months, this is something I've seen often, but especially in the last few months, what I was seeing was that like the service reels and like the reels of like entertaining things and all of that, it did the best engagement wise, views wise, likes wise, but there weren't very many, if any, on some of them, people clicking through to their profile or clicking through to their website from those posts. However, the post where I was originally was like, "Oh man, that one didn't do as well for them. Like, what can we do to up the engagement or up the views or up the likes on that?" Right? But then it's like, "Oh my gosh." And then looking at the individual insights for these posts that quote unquote didn't do as well. Sure, they got less views, sure they got less likes, but they damn sure got way more conversions as far as clicks and profile views and calls and messages go. So that tells me that that's a conversion post. And what the thing about this is it's good to mix all of these things in. That doesn't mean, okay, completely stop doing entertaining reels or behind the scenes reels or things like that. No, that's good to get you visible, to get you being seen, to get you audience growth and growing your page. It has its purpose. It's just not necessarily a conversion content for you. So you can look at, okay, mixing these together in my strategy is a good thing. So look at that in the individual insights on your posts and see what is performing the best in terms of conversions and say, okay, this is my conversion content and I want to be mixing this in every week. It's just not something you're going to expect to get like massive amounts of views or engagement on, but you can expect to get like more conversions, more people clicking through, and hopefully because of that booking with you from those specific content pieces. Okay, so you just have to realize that there's different purposes for different content and they work together for your good. Okay, they work together to help you get that end goal that you want, which is getting bookings from your social media page, right? Making sales from your social media page, all of the above. So they have different purposes. Now, as far as like content types that are just, I feel like are doing well right now, just a few things. I feel like reels, unfortunately, on Instagram do tend to do better than static posts. So I even tested it out in the sense of like doing pretty similar posts, but making one a reel format and then one like a static post. Which, if you don't know what static post is, that just means like a one photo post, like a static post on your feed. So that would be like versus carousels where it's like multiple of the photos on a post, right? You can swipe through and look at different photos on a post versus a static post where it's just one picture or graphic or photo, right? We would do like review posts and like share reviews for some of our clients, and we would do those as static posts and like make a Canva graphic, take the review, make it into a Canva graphic, and those do okay, and those typically do have more, like, conversions than some other post types, but what I realized with that is we tried it out as a reel instead, and we overlaid the review on top of, like, a B-roll video of them doing a service and did that, and it still converted well, but it also got more views and like more engagement on it. So, unfortunately, I feel like Instagram really does well with the reels. And I also like if you look at the accounts that are doing well in terms of like views and followers and engagement, they're posting mainly reels. So, you can kind of think about, okay, how can I take maybe something that I would normally post as a static post and turn that into a reel? And there's really easy ways to do this. I promise you, it doesn't have to be something that takes up a ton more of your time, but just adjusting your content type. So maybe instead of just only posting like lash photos or skin photos or hair photos, maybe you're turning that into like a service reel instead. So There are ways to do it, and I'm not saying you can't or you shouldn't post lash photos or hair photos, like, those have their time and their place, but I am saying that I feel like on Instagram, what's performing best is Reels. So, something to think about, and carousels also do really well. I wouldn't say they always do as well as Reels in terms of, like, engagement and views and things, but this is a really great way, especially for, like, educational posts to, like, build trust with your audience. And the nice thing about carousels is that when it has multiple photos in the same thing, if someone's like revisiting the Instagram app often enough, they're going to re-show them your post with like the next slide on your carousel, right? So the next time they see it, it's going to be the second photo on your slides instead of the first one, right? So it's re-showing it to people to visit back to that post again. So that's what makes carousels really nice in terms of visibility and engagement, is that it's going to get shown to people multiple times with your different slide posts. So that's why a carousel can sometimes even be better than just a static post. So even if you can post like two different photos, three different photos of a lash set instead of just one, that might be something that can increase the visibility on it as well. So with carousels, like I was saying, these can be really great for like educating and all of that. The thing about carousels that I think makes the ones that are most successful is that they sound like the person who wrote them. It's not necessarily chat GPT speak. It sounds like their own voice, and it's relatable and it reads well, and it's just like not super formal necessarily. And so it's not a bad thing to use ChatGPT or, AI to help you write things, but I think it's best to get the main meat out of what you want to say from the ChatGPT summary or the AI summary, but then word it like yourself. And you can really train these AI models to start speaking like you better too. So that might be something to look at doing, is like asking it to write it in your voice. Now it's going to probably have to get to know you a little bit better, or like I've even asked it to like, okay, write it in the voice of like this website or write it in the voice of this Instagram page. And it's not always spot on. Sometimes it's still really cheesy or like funny, but you can still kind of use that as your base and then just edit it a little bit to make it sound like you, make it sound not so cheesy, not so chat GPT AI-ish. Because I feel like at this point, so many people are using AI and chat GPT to write stuff for them that it is, at least for me, so easy to spot when they're doing that. And it just makes every post sound the same. Everyone's wording sounds the same. Everyone's captions sound the same. It gets monotonous. It gets boring. People are going to skip over it. I know it makes it easy to write captions for you, but try and do it more in your voice too and make it sound like yourself. And I feel like that contributes to a carousel that also does really well, is writing it in your voice and being yourself and making it sound like a little more relatable than the chat GPT speak. So something to think about there. Also with static posts, this came from the head of Instagram himself. One of the things he shared, I don't know, in the last like month or two, I don't remember when he posted it, but he said that if you add like music or polls or something interactive to your static post, now remember that's the post that is just like one photo or one graphic in a single post, right? If you can add music or polls or something that's a little more interactive to it, then that tends to help those posts do a little bit better as well. So I definitely would recommend like adding music to your posts, adding a poll to it, adding something that gets people to kind of stop and slow down and interact with that post more while they're scrolling. So that's something to think about. And then just, with creating the content and actually taking the photos and videos. I know this is something that can be like stressful and overwhelming sometimes, but the way like we work with our clients, or like what I tell our clients pretty often, is like you just need to take photos and videos of what you're already doing. Like the B-roll videos, you can repurpose that in so many different ways. You can use that for reels, you can use that for your website. There's so many different purposes, and then literally all it is recording what you're already doing. Now, there's obviously talking reels or TikToks or, making like a funny reel to a sound or dancing things. There's obviously like set ones that you can make, but if you want to make content creation easier for yourself, just start taking videos of what you're doing in your studio or in your salon or spa, right? Even if it's like cleaning or working on the computer, taking a client, setting up for a client, cleaning up your space, like a time lapse of the service. Like there's so many different things that you do every day that if you just literally set up your camera and recorded it, that is like great for content and that does really well. So like B-roll videos with voiceovers, those are doing really well right now, kind of like the vlog style posts where you're kind of sharing the behind the scenes of your day. I feel like those are really simple to put together as well because you just add the B-roll videos, add the voiceover. It might take you 5-10 minutes to put together one reel. And if you can make it easier on yourself, you should. And also, that doesn't mean you can't like record specific reels or specific videos or whatever else. Like you can, but then you can also have like this B-roll video to lean back on if you don't have time to create the other ones, or maybe you didn't get to it yet, or you need something to post in a pinch. Then you have these B-roll videos to lean back on, and it gives you a variety of different content types and you can repurpose those in so many ways. Like you could put together a day in a life reel and put together like you walking in and opening the studio and then like setting up and getting things ready and doing the service and all these steps. But then you could also the next week or the next day even take the video of the time lapse of the service that you did and make that its own reel, right? So you're repurposing these videos in different ways. It makes content creation really easy for you to have multiple content pieces with the same videos. And I feel like these B-roll videos, these behind the scene things where they can really kind of see you in action and get to know you and get to like you are doing really well on social media. And I know you know that. And you might not be super comfortable being on camera, but I feel like B-roll is an easy way to be on camera without necessarily having to talk or like share your life or, people aren't always comfortable with that. And so I feel like this is just an easy way to show up on camera without it being super like scary or a lot of pressure, right? You're not necessarily having to like talk to the camera. And I also feel like voiceovers are an easy way as well to talk with the camera, let them hear your voice, whatever, but you're not necessarily having to be like on screen talking. So it makes it easier to like share things or educate or do a voiceover like a day in the life, whatever, without necessarily having to like be on the screen talking, but they're still hearing your voice and they're getting to know you, they're getting to like you, they're getting to trust you. So, a few just different things that I feel like are working well right now with the B-roll videos, the voiceovers, kind of making some content creation easier for you. And then a couple things. So, I wanted to share some of the conversion type content that I feel like is doing well for our clients right now. So, educational posts, those always seem to do well. So, like your concern, our solution, right? So, we'll do that for like some of our skincare clients or like our med spa clients, where it's like, here's your concern. You've got hyperpigmentation that is so pesky and you can't get it to go away. And it sucks. I don't say it sucks in there, but like, it's hard and you really want to work on that. Here's our solution. Here's the services that would do best. Here's how we approach treating hyperpigmentation, right? Or for lashes, you could, I don't know, something like, okay, you want an everyday mascara look, right? You don't want it to be super full, but you want that length, you want that curl, you want that color that's going to look good 24/7. Then here's the lash type that I would recommend for you. Like hybrid, classic, wet set, whatever your recommendation is for that specific look that they're looking for, right? So, those types of educational posts where you're really kind of helping them see your services as the solution to what they're looking for or the problems that they're having. That could even be like, you are busy and on the go every day and you want to get to that hot yoga class on time in the morning. So here's how your lashes are going to help you do that, right? It saves you time every morning. You look great. You feel put together. You feel confident walking out the door. And that positions your services as a solution to their problems or their concerns that they're having or what they're looking for, the end look they're wanting, right? So those posts have been converting pretty well for our clients recently, as well as like just the service posts in general, even if it's just like a static post of a service, those tend to get more profile visits and more website clicks as well. But if you do have any specials that you're running, now I know not everyone runs specials, which is totally fine. But if you do run specials, those tend to have better conversion rates as well for our clients. So, for example, one of our med spa clients ran an IPL special last month. And so the post we did with the IPL special converted really well and did the best with that as far as like profile visits and website clicks. And then the last one I was gonna share, and this one was kind of surprising in a sense because I've never seen it in such a mass amount of, like, immediate results, I guess. So we had one of our med spa clients who had one of their clients who came in for a facial. They were working with her on her hyperpigmentation, and she posted Instagram stories about it, and I kid you not, they had like 50 new local followers within like less than 24 hours from her posting. Now, she was like an influencer type. She had a lot of followers, but the thing about her was that she had a lot of local followers, which is what made it really great for them because it wasn't just random people following their page, it was local people who could actually book with them. So working with that, I mean, I don't know that they were quote unquote working with a local influencer, but one of their clients who was a local influencer posted about them and they got like 50 new clients from it in less than a day. Not new clients, sorry. They got like 50 new followers from it in less than a day. And a lot of those were clicking through to the website. Like that story post with the amount of like profile visits and website clicks and stuff was popping off. It did so well. I shared that with them and let them know that, like, okay, this worked really well. So maybe this is something we should look at leaning into a little bit more, whether it's with this specific person or not. Looking at what other local pages or influencers are out there who could potentially come in for a service and then post about it and be able to help you grow that way. So there's definitely like you would want like a contract with that or at least something that states like, hey, here's how many posts, that kind of thing. Like, here's what we're offering you. But because we are also like looking at maybe doing ads, like paid ads for this client as well. But then we're kind of like, okay, well, if this worked really well to grow the following and to get people clicking through to the website and get people booking from her, like, I literally think she posted like two stories about going in for hyperpigmentation treatments. I don't know exactly what they did for her. I think it was like laser or something like that. But anyway, she posted like two stories about it and it did so well. And it was like maybe it would be a lower cost to acquire clients to like have local influencers come in for a free treatment and post about it and we can see how that works. Now, if that doesn't work, that doesn't get us the results that we want, we can adjust and try again or, switch strategies, maybe do some paid ads, whatever else. But it was kind of like, okay, let's look at what's working and lean into that and bring that into our strategy more. And I think that that is something that you should look at doing too is what is working the best for you to get clients and how can you increase that or lean into that or strengthen that, do that more often. So you definitely want to be kind of pulling metrics from your clients, getting data from your clients about how they're finding you. If you don't have that on your intake forms or you're not asking them and you're not writing it down, like definitely do that because it's really interesting at the end of each year to look through and see where you got clients from the most and what's working the best. And that's even something you can look at like every quarter, like every few months and say, okay, what's working the best? Where am I getting clients from the most? Lean into that a little bit more. Maybe you need to adjust your strategy on some other platforms, whatever else. But that's part of like an effective marketing strategy is looking at the data and making adjustments where you need to so that you can get the results that you want. Or looking at the data and saying, okay, this is working well, let's lean into it and go full force with it. And then that way you can continue to get clients. So I hope this is something that's helpful for you. I think I say that every week, but truly, I'm like, what should I talk about today? And this just was like, oh, yes, absolutely. Because I was just having conversations with clients about this, sending them like their insights, talking with them about results, things like that. And so it's always eye-opening for them, I think, to actually look at the data and say, okay, this is what's working, this is what's not. Here's how we're going to adjust strategy, or here's maybe what we should lean into a little bit more, and really have that informing your strategy moving forward and what types of content you should be spending your time creating. And also, just throwing out there some ideas of some things, different content types that I feel like are working the best for our social media clients right now. But for you, look at what content types are doing the best for you. What content types are doing the best for visibility and audience growth? What content types are doing the best for conversions? Where are you getting the most bookings from? Like what platform? And use that to create your content plan for the next month and really lean into what's working the best. Because you don't have to keep spinning the wheels and stressing yourself out creating content if it's not working for you. Just because you keep doing it or keep posting more and more doesn't mean that that's going to fix all of your clientele problems and your client problems and get you more clients. Like, it's not always about doing more. Sometimes it's about slowing down a little bit, looking at what's working, and like being intentional on it so that you can do less and get more results, right? Work smarter, not harder type of thing. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful for you. If you liked this episode, definitely go share it with your beauty industry friends. Take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram. Would love to see if you listened. And definitely make sure you are subscribed to the show wherever you listen to podcasts at so that you can get notified of new episodes every Tuesday. I love you guys. I hope you have a great week. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk again next week.